there was this lady sitting on a bench, and I went over and sat down beside her. She was waiting for a bus, and I noticed she had a uniform on. So I just said, "Hey, are you starting your shift at your work, or are you done it?" And she explained to me that she was a city bus driver, and she was actually waiting to start her shift. And so she was waiting for her bus to come so that she could take over the shift. So as we got talking, I just asked her where she was from, and she said that she had been in our city for 32 years. However, originally she was from Punjab, India. And I just said, it's under my understanding, please correct me if I'm wrong, but that when you are raised in India, usually you're raised with the spiritual belief system of either Hinduism or to be a Sikh. And I said, "Are you either one of these?" And she said, "Actually, I am a Sikh." And I said, "Oh, I've actually been to the Sikh temple in our city. I went on a tour and had a meal there in order to find out more about that spiritual belief and that religion." And she was surprised, and she said, "Oh, I've been there too." And so as we got talking and I asked her some questions, I just said, "Hey, I love Jesus. Have you ever heard about Jesus or anything about him?" And she said, "Actually, not very much." She didn't really know anything about him, but she was very open to all spiritual beliefs. And so she did say, though, that her husband also worked for the city as a bus driver, and one of his regular clients ended up giving them a Bible. And she says, "We have this Bible. It's a beautiful Bible, but I've actually never opened it up. It's at our house." And I said, "Oh, well, let me tell you about it if you ever want to look into it." And so I began to tell her about the Old Testament and the New Testament and some different books of the Bible of what they were. And as I was explaining it to her, I could see that time was sort of ticking away and her bus was about to come. And so I just said, "Hey, you know what? Before you go start your shift, could I just pray over you?" And she said, "Oh, yes, you can." And I said, "Is there anything specific that I could pray for you for?" And she said, "Actually, my health and my family." And I said, "Great." And so I just put my hand on her shoulder and I just began praying. But as I was praying this way, I began to just ask the Holy Spirit, "Lord, what do you see about her? What do you love about her?" And the Lord just started to reveal to me things that he loved about her. So I began to just speak it to her in my prayer over her. When I opened my eyes, I just saw tears streaming down her face. And she assured me they were happy tears, and she gave me a great big hug. And she said, "I've never had anyone in my whole life pray for me." And I said, "Wow, that's incredible." And she began walking away because her bus had arrived, and she turned, she said, "I will never forget that you did this, that you prayed for me. In fact, I'm going to go home, I'm going to open that Bible, I'm going to start reading it." And then she got on her bus. And I thought, wow, that in 32 years of being here in Canada, she's never had anybody pray for her. And then, wow, how the Holy Spirit impacted her that day and the power of revealing himself to him. I just think, wow, how neat is it when we obey and we take a risk and we reveal Jesus to people.